My sister tried to frame me for theft to get me disinherited. Now she's out of the will forever. I'm 31 male, and my family has always been the type that prides itself on being close. But the truth is, we've been a mess for a long time, and I've just been too blind to see it. Or maybe I didn't want to see it. I guess this story is the final nail in the coffin for the family I thought I had. My sister, S, 34F, made sure of that. I always knew S was entitled. She's the kind of person who always had to be the center of attention, the one who made everything about herself, no matter what. She'd demand things, guilt-trip people into giving her what she wanted, and somehow always got away with it. I didn't care much growing up. I figured that's just how things were. And she was my sister, so I let a lot slide. Maybe that was my mistake. Everything came to a head a few months ago at my parents' 40th wedding anniversary. They'd gone all out. A huge party, catered dinner, expensive decorations. The whole 9 yards. S, of course, had taken charge of the event, barking orders at everyone like it was her party and not my parents. I was used to it, so I kept my head down, helped with the decorations, and just tried to enjoy the night. Then, after dessert, S comes up to me, looking all pale and nervous, and whispers something's wrong. Mom's necklace is gone. Now, this necklace was a big deal. It's been in the family for generations, passed down from our grandmother, and was worth a lot. My mom always wore it for special occasions, and she had it on that night. But according to S, it was suddenly missing. At first, I thought maybe it just slipped off somewhere. People lose jewelry at parties all the time, right? But then S looks right at me and says, I saw you near Mom's things earlier. You didn't happen to, I don't know, accidentally take it or something, did you? I just stared at her, completely blindsided. What the hell are you talking about? I didn't touch Mom's stuff. Her expression was calm, almost too calm. I'm just asking. You were near it. And that's when I realized what she was doing. She was trying to frame me. In front of our whole family and a bunch of family friends, S was planting the idea that I had stolen our mother's necklace. As the night went on, more people started to whisper. I saw the looks people gave me, the subtle glances, the way people started to distance themselves. S had done her job well. The seed of doubt had been planted, and I could feel the suspicion growing in the room. But I couldn't confront her there, not with everyone around, so I let it go, hoping it would blow over. It didn't. A few days later, my parents called me over for a talk. I knew what was coming. We just want to get to the bottom of this, my dad said. S mentioned that you were near your mother's things the night the necklace went missing. I couldn't believe it. You seriously think I would steal from Mom? Are you guys even listening to yourselves? S was there too, sitting off to the side, acting all innocent. I'm not saying you did it, I'm just saying, it looks bad. I was furious. She had everyone wrapped around her finger, and now my own parents were questioning me. I tried to explain, but everything I said just made me sound defensive, which only made me look guiltier. It was a trap, and I was stuck in it. But then things took a turn. A week later, my fiancée, called me while she was at my parents' house, helping them sort through some stuff. She found the necklace, hidden in S's room. When I showed up at the house, my mom looked like she'd aged 10 years. My dad was pacing, pissed off. S was there too, her face a mix of shock and anger. What the hell is this, S? My dad asked, holding up the necklace. Why was this hidden in your room? S's face turned red, and she immediately started backpedaling. I don't know. Maybe someone planted it there. I didn't steal it, but it was too late. She was caught, and she knew it. The look on her face when she realized her plan had fallen apart was something I'll never forget. I thought that would be the end of it. I thought, finally, everyone would see her for what she was, and we could all move on. But that's not how S operates. A few days after we found the necklace, S started pulling her usual tricks. She sent my mom this long, tear-soaked letter about how she had been going through a tough time, how she had never felt good enough growing up, and how she didn't know why she had acted out. She hinted that maybe she had some undiagnosed mental health issues, trying to spin the whole thing as some sort of breakdown. I could see my mom wavering. Maybe we should give her another chance, she said, her voice soft. She's still our daughter. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Mom, she framed me. She didn't have a breakdown. She was trying to get me kicked out of the family. But the guilt was already settling in. My parents didn't reply to the letter, but the doubt was still there. S had managed to claw her way into their heads, and I could feel the ground shifting beneath me. Then came the next trick. S showed up at my parents' house one night, unannounced, with bags of groceries, offering to cook dinner. My parents, against their better judgment, let her in. She cooked, they ate, and things seemed almost normal for a while. But during dessert, S casually brought up the will. Are you guys really serious about writing me out of it? She asked, as if it was just some light dinner conversation. My dad, already exhausted from everything, just stared at her. You try to pin a theft on your brother S. What did you expect? And then S broke down. She started sobbing at the table, saying they were abandoning her, saying that I had turned them against her. She said they didn't care about her, that they were letting me brainwash them, and that if they really loved her, they'd put her back in the will. It was a full-on guilt trip, complete with crocodile tears. My mom started to crack. I could see it in her eyes. She hated conflict, and S knew exactly how to play her. But my dad wasn't having it. We trusted you, S. You lied. You tried to frame your own brother. And now you expect us to just pretend none of that happened? You crossed the line. S stormed out, but she wasn't done. A few days later, I found out she had gone to my parents' lawyer, trying to argue that they were mentally unfit to make decisions about the will. She claimed I had manipulated them into cutting her out, and she even hinted that she might contest the will in court. It was insane. The lawyer shut her down immediately, of course. He knew what was going on and told her she had no case. But the fact that she was even trying this, trying to claim that her own parents were mentally unstable to get back in their will, was another level of low. She tried everything. When the legal route didn't work, she went public. She started posting vague, emotional rants on Facebook about how her family had abandoned her, how she had been cut off and left alone to fend for herself. She didn't mention the necklace or what she'd done, of course. No, she just painted herself as the victim, hoping to gain sympathy from extended family members and friends. It worked for a little while. A few relatives reached out to my parents, asking if there had been some kind of misunderstanding. But once the full story came out, even they stopped reaching out to S. People were starting to see her for what she was, a manipulative, entitled person who only cared about the money. But the last trick she pulled was the worst one. My mom had to go to the hospital for a routine checkup. Nothing serious, but S took the opportunity to strike again. She showed up at the hospital, crying, clutching my mom's hand, saying how scared she was of losing her. I can't lose you, Mom, she sobbed. Please just put me back in the will. I promise I'll change. I don't want us to end on bad terms. She was trying to guilt my mom into forgiving her on her deathbed. The manipulation was so disgusting that when my mom told me about it, I had to sit down to process it. She's not sorry, Mom, I told her. She's just trying to get back in your pocket. My mom sighed, looking exhausted. But finally, I think she understood. I know, she said quietly. I know. That was it. My parents were done. After the hospital stunt, they cut off all contact with S. They told the lawyer to threaten legal action if she tried to contest the will or harass them again. She stopped trying after that. I haven't heard from her since. She's out there somewhere, probably plotting her next move. But it won't be in this family. Not anymore. And that was the end of my relationship with my sister. It's hard to accept, but sometimes family ties break beyond repair. S's manipulation, lies, and greed drove a permanent wedge between us, and my parents finally saw her for who she truly was. They found peace without her, and so have I. Though it took time, I still think about what could have been if S had just been honest, if she had taken responsibility instead of digging deeper into her deception. But now I've learned that sometimes, no matter how much you want to save a relationship, some people aren't worth the effort. Life moves on, and I'm focused on building my future with M, while S remains just a painful chapter in our past. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them, so please leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more stories like this one.